Hi, this is Shaven Martinez, and I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to use Google Classroom to share content with your students. Now, I'm just going to give you the bare minimum training, just the basics today. Google Classroom can do a whole lot more, but we're just going to focus on sharing links and content with students easily, especially during our after-school program. The first thing you're going to want to do is just go to google.com so that you can sign into your account. We're going to click the upper right-hand corner of our screen where it says sign in. When we do that, if we have signed into Google before with any of our personal Gmail accounts or any accounts, they're all going to appear here. But I want to sign in with my bgcsedu.org account. For most of you, you're going to have to add your account here at the bottom. And then you can go and ahead and type in that .org account. Please make sure you're using the .org account. The .org account is the only way we can access our Google applications for education, and in particular, it's the only way we can access Google Classroom because those are paid services. I'm going to click Next, enter my password, and then now I'm officially logged into my account. I can tell that because I can see my face right up here. Now, usually to access all the applications within Google, all I do is click this little grid on the top right-hand corner of my screen, and all my applications show up. Google Classroom, for some reason, does not show up in the main applications menu here unless you go to your Drive. You can change those settings, which I can show you at a different date, but I'm going to log into my Google Drive. Once I'm in my Google Drive, again, I'm going to click this grid at the top right-hand of my screen. When I do that, now when I click more and I scroll down to the very bottom, here's Google Classroom. It's a green chalkboard. This is going to be the exact same icon you're going to teach your students to look out for because this is how they're going to get into Google Classroom as well. When I click on it, it's going to load my Google Classroom. I just like to sort of memorize this URL right here, classroom.google.com. That's the easiest way for me to access Google Classroom in general. So I just memorize that, and then my browser automatically fills it in for me. Oops, I clicked a little too quick there. When you first enter your Google Classroom, for most of you, this is going to be blank. You are not going to see these boxes right here. The reason I'm seeing these is these are all classrooms I've created or have been shared with me. In order to create a class or join a class, I'm always going to go to the top right-hand corner of the screen and I'm going to click this plus sign right here. When I click that plus sign, it gives me two options: to join a class. This is if someone shares a code with me so I can join a class, or to create a class. In this case, I'm creating a class. When I create my class, I'm going to give it a title. I can give it a section if I'd like. So if I'm teaching 5th grade reading, I could label these 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D. I can give it a subject if I'd like, but again, that's all optional. And then I'm just going to click Create. Whenever you create a new Google Classroom, it's going to kind of automatically just assign a theme to you. And if you're picky like me, you're going to want to pick your theme. So in the right-hand corner here, you can select a new theme or upload a photo, which will change this background image to your main classroom. Google Classroom has some really cute themes already built in. So I say, why change it? Just use what they have. They've got images ready to go here. They also have patterns. I always try to choose a pattern because they're simple and simplicity is good, so you're not distracting your kids too much. Go ahead, pick your theme, click Select Class Theme. Don't waste too much time on that. Once you've picked your theme, you'll see that this is the main feed for your Google Classroom. In the center here, this is your class stream. It's almost like a feed that you would see on Twitter or Facebook. So the most recent content automatically rises to the top. Anything you share with your kids will show up right here in their class stream. On the left, students will see due dates for work if you've assigned due dates. Topics, if you've assigned topics to content, you've linked it here. And in your stream, you can actually choose to show deleted items if you would like. Now, whenever you want to post something new to your class stream, you're going to scroll right on over to this plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner. If you scroll your mouse over this plus sign, you'll see you'll be given a bunch of options. The first option is to reuse a post, which means something you've posted in the past. You can just copy it, reuse it again, and it'll rise straight to the top, which is really nice if you're giving similar reminders to your students over and over again, so you don't have to type something out again. You can create a question that'll pose it to your whole class. It'll poll them. They tally the results. So it's like a polling function that's built into Google Classroom. You can create assignments for your students. You can upload a Google Doc, give individual copies to all your students. They can complete them, turn them in. You can grade them, comment on them, or you can create an assignment. Now, most teachers use Google Classrooms for students to complete work, submit work, grade work, comment on work, give it back to students. For a lot of our first, second, and third grade classrooms, I know you're not ready for that yet, and that's totally okay. Maybe we'll get there in the years to come if we have more Chromebooks in our classrooms. My fourth and fifth grade classrooms, I highly suggest that you use Google Classroom to actually create assignments, have your students complete them, submit them, grade them, comment them, give them back. You will never have to use paper again, which is really powerful. For most of us, for our after school programs, we're just going to use Google Classroom for sharing links and content so our students can easily click on things and they don't have to type in long URL addresses. In order to do that, I'm going to use the create an announcement post. So I'm going to click create announcement. It'll load this. It will automatically tell me who I want to create the announcement for. Because I'm in this third grade after school group, it's going to default to that. But I can actually select this to send it to multiple classrooms at once if I'd like, which is really awesome if I teach, say, 2 or 3 sections of like a fifth grade reading class. If I teach 5A, 5B, 5C, I can select multiple classrooms and select them all at once. I can send this out to all my students, or I can send it out to individual students. Currently, I don't have individual students tied to this class, so it's just defaulting to all students. I can type what I want to share with my kids. So for example, if I want all my kids to take their easy CBM test, I can say, and then I can type some content for my students to read, and then I can copy and post that link from Easy CBM. So for most of us, it was something like that. I can copy it. I can group it by a topic if I want to. So for example, I could create a topic that's just links so that every single time I send a link to my kid, they're all grouped under topics. This will allow them to easily sort for only links, only homework assignments, things like that. If I'd like, I could attach a file to this. I could attach something directly from my drive, my Google Drive, which is really nice. So I never have to upload, download files. They're right there stored on my drive. I could link directly to a YouTube video if I'd like. So Google Classroom works closely with YouTube. So if there's something I want my kids to watch and learn from, I can link it here, or I can actually post a link right here. So I copied and pasted that link I want my students to look at. I'm going to click add link. It adds a link right there. I can post this right now, or I can schedule it. And so this is what's really powerful. If you know exactly what you're going to be teaching for the remainder of after school, I could go ahead and schedule these out for the rest of the year. I could pick days and just go ahead and schedule out my content month by month. I could shoot out my reminder about the link for Easy CBM for if I'm doing my progress monitoring every Thursday. I could go ahead and send this out every single Thursday for the rest of the year, which is really great. And I could even pick a time for it, which is awesome. If I just click post, it will send it to all my students right away. If I click save draft, I can work on it later. So I'm going to click post, and now it automatically adds it to my stream right here. So my students can click on this link to quickly access their Easy CBM test, and they'll be able to get what they need. If I want to share more, I can click this plus button again to share more content. I can also adjust the settings for this individual post to copy it, edit it, delete it, or move it to the top if I have multiple posts. Now, in order for my students to view this content, they need to connect to my classroom. The way I do this is I'm going to click on the Students tab on the top, and I need this unique class code right here. This class code is what allows my students to get into my classroom, and it'll automatically add their name to my list of students. What I usually do is I put this in huge print on my smartboard or on my whiteboard, and I just keep it on my whiteboard so my kids can see it and they can copy it down and join my class as the year goes on. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to show you where we're going to use this. So I'm going to get back to my main classroom. I do that by clicking on these 3 lines on the left here. I click back on classes. It'll take me back to my main Google Classroom account. Like I said earlier, this plus sign is for joining a class or creating a class. When your students are in Google Classroom, They're most likely going to be on a Chromebook or on a computer lab. On the Chromebooks, you're just going to click on the classroom icon. In the computer labs, they're going to have to log into their Google Drive and get into their Google Classroom, just like I showed you earlier. But they're going to click on this plus sign and then click Join Class. And this is where they're going to put that code that was within my classroom that I wrote on my whiteboard. When they type this in and click Join, it'll automatically put them into my Google Classroom. Unfortunately, I can't click Join because I created the class and it's just going to give me an error message. But the moment they click Join, it will add the class to their list of classrooms that they can see right here. So if you ever look at one of our 6th, 7th, 8th grade students, they have numerous classrooms listed here for all of their classrooms they have in the middle school. And they click through them one at a time so they can get to the content for all of their classrooms. You can also view all your classes on the left here, which will be scrolling. So hopefully that was helpful in showing you how to quickly add links to your Google Classroom to share them with your students, and also helps you teach your kids how to access their Google Classroom to see some of those links you've posted. Remember, when we're accessing Google Classroom, we have to use our bgcsedu.org accounts. Staff and students need to use those in order to have access to Google Classroom. All 1st through 5th grade students have been created the bgcsedu.org accounts. They just need to learn how to log into them. If you have any additional questions, please free to shoot me an email or come find me at any time. Have a great day.